Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mityorma Amritam Gamaya. From untruth lead us to truth. From darkness lead us to light. From death lead us to immortality. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Embodiments of Divine Love. Welcome to part number 3 of my personal saga, a story evolving around a film script, Whitney Houston and the Kali Yuga Avatar, Sri Satya Sai Baba. Now, for you to make sense of what you hear now, you would have to dive into part number 1 and part number 2 of my narration, to be found on YouTube or LinkedIn or on Facebook. I take you right back into the storyline. I'm leaving Puttaparthi in South India, beginning of 2000, with the intention of working with my model agency, Icon Models. I joined Icon Models in 1998. But I had to find out that the market wasn't ready yet for this model saint, quote unquote, from India. I was forced to seek a part-time gig. And lo and behold, my newly made friend Kevin Skinner, the guy that I met in the bar a year before, he called me to his table at a bar/restaurant in Manhattan. And we started chatting, and Kevin was obviously happy to see me. And he said, "Wolfgang, what are you doing right now?" I said, "Well, I'm looking for a job. Modeling hasn't kicked in yet." So he says, "Great. You want to be my driver? You want to be my chauffeur?" It was a 24/7 assignment, while I would live in his house in New Jersey and drive him to his business appointments and for entertainment purposes in his black limousine. The pay was good, so I accepted the job. However, the first evening when I was driving him through town, Kevin opened up a bit more about his business, and he let me know that John Huston, Whitney Houston's father, was his business partner. I stopped the car immediately and I was willing to hand him the car keys, saying, listen, Kevin, if Nippy, Whitney Houston's management, would find out that I am your driver, I will be targeted as a stalker, without a doubt. I cannot continue to work for you. This is crazy. Kevin, however, convinced me, listen, you are not a stalker. I know this, you know this. I have your back. Don't worry. Me and John Huston will not allow for you to go down the drain. I said, Kevin, they will call you into their offices. Thomas Weisenbeck will reach out to you and he will ask for my head. Are you sure you can stand the ground? Kevin said, don't you worry. I have your back. 2 days later, I am driving none other than John Huston himself, Whitney Houston's father, as a chauffeur through Manhattan together with his partner Kevin Skinner. And John, who was already suffering from certain ailments, he was not in good shape anymore, unfortunately. But he had a very kind spirit and he treated me with a lot of respect. Wanted to know stories about my Indian teacher, Satya Sai Baba, and he actually wanted something from me, which we call vibhuti. This is a sacred ash, which is given to people who are sick, and in general, it's a very strong blessing from the Avatar with a very, very potent healing capability. Countless men and women and children received healings and blessings from this very vibhuti. So John Huston actually wanted some for himself and his family, and I gave it to him. Of course, John was made aware of my predicament with Nippy and his daughter, and he said, Wolfgang, here is my cell phone number. Whenever you are encountering trouble, give me a call. You are not a stalker. I know this. Now, sure enough, Kevin Skinner received the phone call from Nippy about a week later. And I myself drove him to the office. My life was in Kevin's hands. It took about an hour. The meeting took about 1 hour. And after that, Kevin re-entered the limousine. And when I turned around and asked him, so what is the decision? Kevin said, listen, I told you, I have your back. Let's move. So Thomas Weisenbeck and Nippy were not able to break my spine. About 2 weeks later, my business with Icon Models picked up. I was able to leave my limousine service for Kevin behind. I moved into an apartment in Harlem, Manhattan, and I was quite happy that my model business picked up momentum once again. Fast forward 2 weeks, yet another phone call. This time, Thomas Weisenbeck is calling me, and he's inviting me to the headquarters in Morristown, New Jersey, of his law firm. And I was invited because I'm being told we have reconsidered our stance concerning your film project, and we want to discuss this with you in person. I was actually picked up by a black limousine myself now, driven to Morristown, New Jersey for a brunch. In the room, a creative director, 2 lawyers, and myself. And for the first 15 minutes, the entire conversation was very pleasant. The gentleman who once threatened me to put me behind bars was offering me tea and coffee, and we talked about the film project and how to proceed together. But shortly after that, the focus of the conversation shifted. And it shifted to John Huston and Kevin Skinner. And to give you a little bit more background information, it was the time when Whitney Houston signed a new contract with her producer, a $100 million contract. Whitney was already in bad shape due to, sadly enough, drug abuse. And her father, John Huston, was very, very worried, and I dare say rightly so, about the management that she was entrusting. John wanted to take control of this management and of the handling of this $100 million deal. And the reason why I was sitting in the office in Morristown, New Jersey, was arranged because this group tried to gain information about John Huston, knowing that I was the chauffeur once. So I refused to answer any questions related to John Huston and or Kevin Skinner. That was not part of the movie project. The pretense was created. While I was sitting in the office in Morristown, New Jersey, a private detective was sent to my father's house in Papenburg, Germany. And my father was questioned, and he didn't understand what the purpose was. So he got very scared and thought there was something wrong, some kind of misconduct done by his son. I left our brunch meeting in Morristown, New Jersey shortly after because it didn't make any more sense for me to stay in that office because it was a setup. I was lucky that my model business picked up again. Whitney's career tanked. And unfortunately, her health condition worsened. Whitney Houston's father died, I believe, a few months later, unfortunately. Kevin Skinner disappeared from my radar. God bless his soul, because he kept his word. And obviously, Nippy's time was up. Now I'm telling you this story not to blame anybody. Neither Nippy nor Thomas Weisenbeck. I'm just giving you some facts that I encountered. And I shared this story to demonstrate to you that in life we are guided and governed by certain principles, such as truth, satya, shanti, peace, ahimsa, non-violence, dharma, righteousness, and love, prema. And when we uphold these principles, no matter what, this universe will protect us. The divine intelligence operating this universe will have our back. And we can encounter all the negative forces, and they may challenge us to the utmost, but we can emerge victoriously. And out of my full conviction, I share with you that Sri Satya Sai Baba has orchestrated this entire saga around Whitney and myself to enrich our souls, in my case. In her case, to give her an opportunity with this very film project. I strongly believe that God wanted to reach out to her with this project. And unfortunately, it didn't manifest. And I think it didn't manifest because she was listening to wrong advice due to her drug abuse. So that responsibility she had to carry. I do believe that she is in a wonderful space now. I also believe that Whitney will prepare for another beautiful incarnation on this planet. I think that actually I want to thank Thomas Weisenbeck for the challenges I encountered, because they made me stronger. They strengthened my faith and my devotion, and they gave me more resilience and self-confidence. So, from the bottom of my heart, Mr. Weisenbeck, if you listen to this video, thank you. For all of us, I wish to convey, embrace your inner divine essence. Allow God to show you how to maneuver in this jungle of trials and tribulation, manipulation, power struggles, and I wish to encourage you to embrace the path of Dharma, the path of righteousness, the path of unconditional love. I wish to encourage you to fight the forces of darkness, the demonic entities that are currently rampant. All is God's play. He has assigned us our roles. Our job is to play our part to the best of our abilities, adhering to His instructions and surrendering to His love and protection. May you all be blessed, may you all be safe, and may you all be in bliss. Namaste.